10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This is Johnny Wrestling, or Johnny Takeover, as my shirt says. And listen, I want you to listen. Like, we're involved right now. It's crazy, it's loud, it's hectic. We're in New York City, but I want you to listen to the No Holds Barred Network.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to episode number 21 of the NXT Podcast right here on the No Holds Barred Network, your number one source for wrestling podcast content covering WWE, NXT, NXT UK, and now home to all elite wrestling podcast coverage. You can go follow the podcast on Twitter at NHB Network. You can follow our podcast on Twitter at TheNEXT Pod, located in the bottom right of the screen right there. You can follow myself at Real Kyle Masters, and you can follow my co-host Michael Chow TV. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the NXT Podcast. If you're new, this is where we talk about NXT, we talk about the WWE main roster. We have our segment called Rant City, where we pick a topic, or it's a fan-chosen topic, and then we rant about it, we talk about it, big giant discussion at the end of the show, then we read your fan tweets out there. If you want to send in your fan tweets, make sure you're using the hashtag AskTheNext, NEXT, in your tweet. Ladies and gentlemen, right before we get in the show, let's just get this out of the way. Like I said before, you can follow us on Twitter, and that is TheNextPod, Pod, spelled TheNextPod. You can follow myself at Real Kyle Masters, and you can follow Michael Chow TV. So those, if you're watching us on YouTube, there are your links right there. They're also located down in the description below. And if you're listening to us on the go, make sure you are following us on those social media, on that social media platform at all those links. And speaking of listening on the go, guys, if you want to listen to us on the go, we are also available to listen to on iTunes, Spotify, Spreaker, and Stitcher Radio. All those links will be located in the YouTube description. If you are listening to us for the first time, if you want to take us on the go, make sure you are following us on there. And thank you for the people that are currently doing that and downloading the episode and listening to us now. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host, as always, of the NXT Pod, Kyle Masters, always joined by my co-host. He is the host that runs the West Coast, Hollywood, Michael Chow. Michael, what's going on today, man? It's been a crazy week this week, and wrestling based in odd space. We were supposed to go last night. I apologize for that, guys. Personal issues got in the way, but we're here live today. But most importantly, Michael, how was your week today? Or how was your week this week?
It was good. I'm really looking forward to the road to Wrestlemania.
Wait, we're on the road
Man.
to Wrestlemania? Seriously?
I may need to take a shower after I said that. Sorry. Yuck. It smells so dirty. Ugh.
Like a dumpster fire.
Well, the card looks good, assuming the fans Vince doesn't make any last-minute replacements like he did for, let's see here, Becky Lynch and Kofi. So, I don't know. We'll see. He'll most likely replace the entire card. Very last minute.
I mean, putting the 8 to 10 hours rumored aside, the card looks pretty decent this year. In terms of match-wise, there's actually a couple of matches I'm kind of looking forward to. I don't get my hopes up with the main roster, though. Clearly, it's just in the past, I've been getting my hopes up way too much with the WWE main roster to trust them to do anything right. So I go in with an empty mind, but I'm actually looking forward to a couple of matches, especially the one showcase match. Batista and Triple H should be good. Like I'm just saying that these guys are still in great shape. These guys should have a pretty decent match. So. I'm loving and hoping for some old school feel out of that match. But man, with the rumored 8 to 10 hours, that's gonna be a long goddamn pay-per-view. Like that's gonna be very long for people that like to drink. That what I'm gonna be doing in New York when watching this. It's a lot of drinking.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is long, 8 to 10 hours. You're treading half a day territory.
That is true. Everyone gets your Red Bulls, your Monster drinks, your coffees, and your cocaine. So you'll want to
whatever floats your boat. We don't judge.
We
don't judge here. You whatever you need to do to stay awake. Just gotta do what you gotta do. We're not enforcing it on people. We don't want the social justice warriors coming after us here. Okay, we're just saying people out there have their methods of staying awake. We're not judging. Okay.
And grab your alcohol, just in case WrestleMania is what we think it's going to be. So, but I agree with you. I don't want my hopes to be too high going into WrestleMania with low expectations. It might actually be pretty good. So I better be leaving WrestleMania saying that wasn't bad than saying I knew it. Why did I think this was going to be so good? Kurt Angle vs. Corbin was crap. Why was this his last match? Oh, my gosh. And I can't believe Vince replaced Kofi Kingston with Roman Reigns. I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
Roman's been interchanged into every title match. It's not WrestleMania unless we feature Roman Reigns in every title match. Even the women, equal rights, right?
Fair enough.
Anyways, yeah, WrestleMania, it is what it is. Besides that, it doesn't feel... in a way, it feels like WrestleMania, but in a way, it doesn't. It doesn't feel like WrestleMania. You should feel something special. With 4 weeks going to the main pay-per-view, you should feel like this is going to be big. Like, I'm getting anticipated for these or for this pay-per-view, and they're not doing a good job. It's like they're still acting like it's like 3 months away to me. Like, if you're watching booking and watching what they're doing on TV, and you're like, oh my god, like, get us excited for this. Like, why are they like on the back pedal here? Like, why are they slowing down?
Well, I feel like one reason why it doesn't, like you just talked about, WrestleMania doesn't feel special. You get a feeling when WrestleMania comes up. I used to, because WrestleMania is the culmination of an entire year of WWE ending. A lot of people say that WrestleMania marks the end, and that's why they usually have the superstar shakeup, because it usually means a new storylines, new feuds, and all that other stuff. One reason why I think it really doesn't feel like WrestleMania is because we got all of these random wraparounds. We don't know who's going to face Daniel Bryan, as far as we know, because they keep doing this whole wraparound with Kofi, and the main champion on the other brand doesn't show up. And when he does, he just stands there and he just walks around. It's like...
And that's a thing too, Michael. Why don't they have this why is WrestleMania plans being changed 2 weeks before and it's not set? Why is the full card not set in stone yet? The card should have been set in stone, written in pen, ready to go by like after Survivor Series. You should know where you're going. And to me, I think it's true, and it's clearly shown on TV. There's been so many rewrites to the main card, not because of injury, because their lack of creativeness is showing bluntly on TV that they have been having to rewrite storylines, and it's terrible for the professional company, for the giant company, the big one, the big fish in the sea of all wrestling companies. You should have your shit together, and there's spots where you're like, man, why don't they have their shit together? This is not good for a company that's supposed to be that professional. It's really showing that they don't have their shit together, clearly, for WrestleMania. They can hype it all they want and make all the graphics and get get the casual fans into it and let them be blinded. But to guys like us in this industry that look more in depth into professional wrestling, we can clearly see that they're not ready to go, and you're literally almost a week out for WrestleMania. What the fuck? This shouldn't be this way.
I totally agree. I mean, I kind of dabbled on it last week, but I feel like if they are moving forward with, and they should, with Ronda Rousey versus Becky versus Charlotte as the main event of WWE, I had said last week that they are basically sabotaging Asuka on SmackDown to make the women's match on Raw the main focus going to WrestleMania. But now I just feel like, honestly, they are sabotaging every feud on the main roster, because they want Becky versus Charlotte versus Ronda to be the main feature if it is the main event. If it is the main event, in a way, they're doing the right thing. Yeah, it should be. It should be.
There's no other match in that card that has the amount of hype that this feud and has the amount of put and effort to not be the main event. Like, Brock and Seth is not even close to being main event level. I don't care who Brock Lesnar is, how much he gets paid, and the fact that they want the Universal title to be over the WWE Championship for whatever goddamn reason. It should not be the main event. Your main event would have been one-on-one, should have been just Becky and Ronda. That would have sold tons, but the fact they added Charlotte in there, we've come to accept it now, and they're going to do that regardless. That still should be your main event. No other matches can come close to that. So if they don't, that'll be the poorest decision I've ever seen in my entire life. That's like having, when it was The Rock and Cena for the first time, you knew a year before that was the main event. Like, there was nothing that was going to top that, because that was like once in a lifetime, you know. I am quoting them there because that was their big thing, once in a lifetime.
Until they did the year after.
You couldn't have anything be that main event. They even had big, huge matches during that WrestleMania. You had Jericho and CM Punk finally going at it for the main championship. You had The Undertaker and Triple H in the end of an era, quote unquote. That's still the greatest Hell in a Cell match to me of all time. That was so good. Like, you had other huge matches on that card, but John Cena and The Rock ended the show because that was the glorified, supposed to be main event. And that's what Becky and Ronda is for this. So it should. But again, I don't get my hopes up anymore because I don't doubt the WWE to do the wrong decisions. So I was at WrestleMania last year, and they made a lot of wrong decisions. So
yes, they did. And the end of this conversation, honestly, we'll talk about it in a bit, but they are now overboarding the whole Becky versus Charlotte versus Ronda thing because of what happened this week with Ronda and her husband. I'm like, ugh, where the heck is this going? They're overboarding it. They've done way too much. So it's ugh.
So we'll get into the main roster recap, and we'll just recap Raw a little bit here. And Raw, there's a lot. This Raw, a lot went on in this Raw. Like, I feel like this was too jam-packed, A. B, most of the stuff, it was just lackluster to me. Nothing really jumped out at me and said, okay, yeah, we're in WrestleMania season, right? Like, okay, so we did the whole, why did they do this? Oh, my God. And the thing out of what they did on Raw this week that really was the tip of the iceberg, Michael, was that they thought this was going to be a good idea. They had Kurt Angle come out in Pittsburgh, of all places, and announce his WrestleMania opponent. He picks...
Hold on. Oh, let me guess. John Cena, right? That makes total sense.
That would make sense. Okay,
John Cena's first opponent.
Thank you.
His last opponent, right? Let's see here. If I had to say it, Undertaker, maybe that'd be great.
And
Kurt Angle
Michael,
never got to face Undertaker. That'd be good.
To put the icing on the cake for you,
Braun Strowman. Let me guess. Braun Strowman.
You mentioned John Cena. Can you take a wild guess as to what city they were in for John Cena and Kurt Angle's first match together?
Saudi Arabia.
Close.
Pittsburgh. Wasn't that Crown Jewel?
Pittsburgh. Oh! They were in the same city as Kurt Angle and John Cena's first match together, and they chose Baron fucking Corbin.
No. By the way, guys, I already know.
What the fuck? I can't do this anymore. I'm done. I can't. Are you fucking kidding me? I don't even care if he's not originally going to face Kurt Angle in the end. Why the fuck didn't they jump all over putting Cena, pay the motherfucker to show up, and just have that moment? That was too easy. Why don't they do anything? I can't even do it anymore. I can't. They picked this goddamn guy. See this guy, his figure? They picked this. I was a Baron Corbin fan when he was this guy. I hate him now. They picked this motherfucker to face Kurt Angle. Are you kidding me?
By the way, he's not Constable anymore. Why is he still wearing that vest and come dressing like I don't know. Well, real fast, Tiffany in the chat, she says, question, do you think they're trolling us? Kurt beats Corbin within 1 minute. John Cena's music hits, it runs out, and that's the match. Here's the thing. A lot of people think that's going to happen. But from the WWE point of view, in my personal opinion, if they wanted John Cena to do it, they would have. Because from a business and marketing point of view, it sells more tickets. It's better marketing that it's Kurt Angle versus John Cena. Whether you like him or not, John Cena, he sells tickets and he brings in fans. All right? And people would have been happy about this. If they would have gotten Cena, trust me, guys, they would have. So I don't know what's going on with this guy. Maybe he's doing a movie. I don't know. He went on Instagram. He posted a picture of Kurt Angle, and mostly that foreshadows future things, but he didn't do that.
Even if he's filming a movie now and he wasn't going to be right until like a week before WrestleMania, this was the spot to do it. He could have taken a break from whatever he was doing and just done this spot and then not show up until WrestleMania. This was it. If you had the fucking key, it's like WWE has a treasure chest that's locked, and the keys for that lock, Michael, are sitting right next to the treasure chest. WWE tries to go and get a saw to cut the lock off instead of just grabbing the key and putting it in and turning it, and there you go. There's gold. No. We're going to go try to get a pair of, this is the best analogy. We're going to go get a plastic butter knife to try to cut open that lock. That's what they're doing with this.
That's a good one. It's...
Because picking Baron Corbin was dull. There's the pun. This was stupid. So stupid. The crowd had zero reaction.
There were so many I don't understand. I mean, yeah, we talk about Cena. We talk about Undertaker, okay? I mean, honestly, they could have went Shelton Benjamin. They could have went Samoa Joe. Have Samoa Joe put a U.S. Open challenge, have Kurt Angle answer it. You could have had AJ Styles before he got into the feud with Randy Orton. I would have been perfectly fine. Some of you might cringe if Jason Jordan, his kayfabe son, had said, I want my last match to be against my son, Jason Jordan -Angle.
Yeah, I do understand that. I think I literally still think he's done. I don't think Jason Jordan's coming back for either a long time or if at all, because apparently his neck injury is really bad. So, but the Shelton Benjamin thing that you mentioned makes sense. Obviously, there's the history of Team Angle with that. I would have accepted that more than Baron Corbin. I mean, I still probably would have said John Cena, just again because of the setting they were in for this week. They chose for him to go in that city to announce his opponent. Why didn't you pick John Cena? Why couldn't you have done John Cena? It makes sense. You made the audience look like fucking idiots.
Oh, man. And then we got on. Now we're getting report that the WWE was surprised and confused by the fan backlash. They didn't want this. All right. By the way, I just want to put it out there, right? Okay. I just want to put this out there on social media. Kurt Angle has put on his social media that he was not told who his opponent was going to be until he got to the arena on Monday Night Raw. He did not know until Monday Night Raw. He said he was unhappy. He was unhappy. His wife went on social media and says she was unhappy with the pick. All right? And the fact that Kurt Angle, who's my favorite wrestler of all time, doesn't get to pick his opponent for his last match. What the hell? I don't get it. They're shocked.
I'm still laughing.
WWE's shocked.
They thought that we would have had a better Are you serious? If this doesn't show you people who don't believe it, if this doesn't show you that the WWE have lost touch with their audience, then I literally don't know what to tell you. I don't know what any other proof to show you, because they thought we would be all right with Baron Corbin versus John Cena. Baron Corbin versus Kurt Angle for his last match. I just want to point something out, and I heard it on another podcast, and I'm like, oh my God, this is insane. You guys can go check it out and see for yourself. So the Kurt Angle announcement of Baron Corbin is slowly becoming the most disliked video in WWE's YouTube history. Like the most negative responses to it in like the fastest time. There's something along those lines. Because currently it's sitting at right now, somehow 6,000 likes, but over 15,000 dislikes.
May I just say, simple solution, and it's the best solution. Okay, just to throw this out there. We've had Vince McMahon come out here and replace Becky Lynch with Charlotte going to WrestleMania. We had Vince McMahon come out here and replace Kofi Kingston with Kevin Owens going to Fastlane. Have Vince McMahon come out here and replace Baron Corbin with anyone. I don't care, anyone. Anyone, okay? Just have Vince McMahon come out here, have Baron Corbin take a shot at the McMahons, I don't care, and then have Vince come out here and say, blah, blah, this and blah, blah, that. You're now replaced. Here's your Kurt Angle's new opponent, John Cena.
And we talked about this last week, Michael, where they backed themselves into a corner. They've done it again. They just to try to justify and fix this to another opponent. They literally have backed themselves into a creative corner, and they're gonna get their team of 30 monkeys together who can't write shit and have shit for brains in there, and they're gonna try to come up with something good here, and they're gonna literally come up with absolutely nothing until the last minute because they backed themselves into a corner. They are doing this to themselves. Why can't they do the right decision when it's right in front of you? Why do the fans write better than the actual writers who get paid to do it? I don't get that. I don't get it.
One thing that's bad is Kurt Angle. He's been having these open challenge every single week up until WrestleMania, and people are just going to crap on it because I heard his match with Apollo Crews was good. I heard his match with Chad Gable was great. And you have every single week him going against wrestlers who've been great, and then you're going, oh, well, he's going to freaking fight Baron Corbin at WrestleMania, which we've already seen him fight Baron Corbin on Monday Night Raw. Why would we want to see a match that we've already seen on a TV against a guy that we don't even like?
It's a retirement match. It's just supposed to celebrate Kurt. You want Kurt Angle to go out facing Baron Corbin because we know what the result is going to be if this happens, Michael. Kurt Angle's not going to win at WrestleMania. You realize they're gonna make if Baron Corbin faces Kurt Angle, he's getting the win, so he can go on while Kurt Angle's retired and gloat and get him more heat about I retired Kurt Angle, so I'm the great Baron Corbin. You know what I mean? Like this is gonna add to him getting more heat. This is a bad idea.
I really hope this doesn't happen because Kurt Angle, or at least the script says so. Kurt Angle said the reason why he's facing Baron Corbin, why he chose, quote unquote, chose Baron Corbin is because he's never beaten him, and he wants to make Baron Corbin tap out to be the last thing he ever does before he retires. And if he doesn't get Baron Corbin to tap out or win and he still loses, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. I don't understand. Kurt Angle's my favorite wrestler of all time, and I'm seeing this guy slowly die toward the end of his career.
Right.
I don't understand. This is like people who love Michael Jordan, and during Michael Jordan's last basketball match, this guy is like freaking fumbling. He's making free throws that are totally missing. He's tripping over his own feet.
Yeah.
It's I don't know what else to say.
Yeah.
I'm pretty upset.
I'm pretty upset too. Like that was a really horrible thing for Monday Night Raw this week. We talked about you brought up the whole Ronda thing. Was it on Raw or SmackDown, the whole thing with her boyfriend?
Well, because
it was on Raw because she went berserk on the security guards. Like she went fucking ballistic.
Because correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think Ronda's actually appeared on any SmackDown since her feud with Becky has started. Because
that's right.
For whatever reason, well, it makes sense. Becky is the quote-unquote Royal Rumble challenger, so she appears on SmackDown and Monday Night Raw. And Charlotte, since she's a SmackDown superstar, for some reason appears on both Raw and SmackDown. But Ronda doesn't appear on both shows. She's an A-list celebrity toward WWE standards, so I guess she doesn't have to. But what they're doing with – okay, I get it. Guys, I get it. Her character – and I know you like it too. She's breaking kayfabe, right? But now she's just doing way too much. She's assaulting fake security guys, right? And so the security guys, they're supposed to be doing their job. They're supposed to be restraining her. If you saw the segment from Monday Night Raw, they did nothing wrong. Ronda started striking them first, and one security guy tries to restrain her, and then her freaking husband, who she just made out with after her match with her 2-second match with Dana Brooke, takes a swing at one of the security guards, and then he's trying to act all badass. Where is this going to? This guy's a quote-unquote kayfabe fan. Shouldn't this guy be arrested? But I don't get it. It's way too much.
The big thing is here, they didn't do anything. Nothing did anything for the feud. Like, they didn't. Like, Becky wasn't involved. Charlotte wasn't involved. It was Dana Brooke. Like, what does Dana Brooke got to do with anything? Like, why? We're 2 weeks from WrestleMania. Why aren't these people trying to rip each other's heads off? No, we're going to wait till the 1 week before WrestleMania and do, like, a contract signing or do, like, everyone meets face to face to face. And then we're going to do something. But until then, we're not going to do anything. This is why, the builds on the main roster do not make sense at all. And this is your main feud. This is the main thing, like I was talking about in the beginning. This is supposed to be your main event. And you're doing nothing to build it. All you're doing is make Ronda look more like she's just breaking kayfabe and don't give a fuck. I know there's probably a point behind that, but why haven't they included... Why are they only including Charlotte and Becky doing anything with each other? Like,
It's
why are all three doing anything?
Because Ronda,
it's a triple
50,
threat.
50.
It's a triple threat.
Yes, she can't do anything because most of her thing that everyone likes is she's breaking kayfabe, but they're not gonna allow her to break that much kayfabe on Monday Night Raw. They're not gonna let Ronda Rousey say this is fake. You can't do that.
No, but
all right, she can do it on social media.
She doesn't
because
say a
they
word.
think that's
Brawl.
real.
Like, go out there and freaking start ripping Becky's head off. And Charlotte, like, you want to quote yourself as the baddest woman in Planet, you just don't care. Go out and try to beat them up while they're talking to each other or something. Like, they're not doing anything to build the feud. Like, how do you just have Ronda do nothing with the two opponents she's going to WrestleMania? Yeah, she came out and beat up security guards and her boyfriend pulled her over and walked her out. What does that got to do with the feud? What does that do for their match at WrestleMania?
I'm calling it right now. Ronda Rousey's husband, he's going to get involved either to WrestleMania or he's going to get involved in the match. Bear in mind, I just want to throw it out there, triple threat, and by these new rules by the WWE, triple threat guarantees no disqualification. Guarantee you the husband's going to get involved. Okay, he's going to get involved. I don't know if anyone else is going to get involved. Was Ric Flair going to come down here to help Charlotte? Is Charlotte's new boyfriend, Andre Cien Almas, going to go down there? Becky, she's not dating anyone. I'm available, but I don't think no one on her side can go down and help her. So I just
Conor McGregor.
That'd be my gosh.
Because Conor's been set out there saying some scary, some edgy stuff towards WWE. That's why people have mentioned Conor McGregor. I'm like, does anyone remember him saying that thing on Twitter and then all the wrestlers going after him? I really don't think he wants to do anything with the WWE.
To be fair, what he said is almost similar to what Ronda's character is saying now. He's basically saying, oh, yeah, those things are fake. My arm is the size of one of their heads, this and that. But
it's still kind of burning a bridge, though. Like, I don't think WWE wants to do, well, I guess I don't really know because it seems like Vince would do pretty much anything.
Money solves everything.
Yeah, money talks, apparently. What else happened on Raw this week? When they announced that Alexa Bliss is the host of WrestleMania, and the fact she's not wrestling, I thought she was ready to go. I guess she's not able to wrestle right now because now she's only the host.
Well, I mean, because I heard that she was wrestling in a house show tonight, actually. But like I said from last week, now that Ronda versus Becky versus Charlotte is the main focus, that in the women's tag team match, everyone takes a back seat. I mean, Alexa, all she can do is be a jobber.
Not a fan of the moment of bliss thing. I really just don't like that.
I'm not. I mean, I know our buddy Corporate Cappy probably is, but I'm just. And if you've seen some of these moments of bliss, and by the way, I'm an Alexa Bliss fan. I feel bad about saying it. More so, I feel bad that they're forcing her to do this type of stuff. Mm-hmm. But usually when she has male guests on, she's usually like flirting with them. It's so weird. When EC3 was on A Moment of Bliss, she was like talking about how he's very attractive and gorgeous. When Finn Balor was on there, she was talking about his abs. I'm like, what's going on here? Do you guys remember that disastrous segment when that guy with the coffee walked in on her semi-nude? I don't know. Here's to Alexa Bliss getting back into the picture. Maybe get Mickey James, get into the tag division. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Trade her over to SmackDown Superstar Shakeup. I don't know.
Another big thing that happened was Beth Phoenix announcing she's coming out of retirement to team with Natty for the tag team championships. I don't think we have a clear-cut picture of what that tag team match is going to be or have all the participants in it yet. So we'll have to see what it's going to be. I don't know if it's just going to be Natty, and I think it's going to be triple threat. I think it's going to be Beth, or it might be even Fatal 4-Way, because I think it's going to include Beth and Natty. It's going to include Sasha and Bayley. It's probably going to include the Iconics. And they did
beat them on SmackDown. First person to beat that team.
And I think it's going to include Nia and Tamina as well.
Mm-hmm.
So another multi-person match. Can't wait. Ricochet faced Jinder. Oh, poor Ricochet. He's fed to Jinder Mahal and them gloating about him being a former champion. And my God, does it ever show that? Sorry, that I banged my mic there. That Jinder Mahal is off his steroids. If anyone knows anything about steroids like I do, when a person is off a cycle of steroid or type of steroids, there's the immediate signs that you start to get boobies. And Jinder Mahal's got the lankiest boobies ever. I'm like, oh my god! So your steroid pimples are gone off your back. Now you got boobies. Like, you were on steroids. Like, I thought that was banned in WWE. Like, how did he get away with that?
Well, I'm pretty sure they're going back to Saudi Arabia, so you'll see that title back on Jinder very soon, I assume. So
Ricochet beat him. Whatever.
Yeah.
Braun declared himself an Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal because what else?
Who fucking cares? I'm
who,
sorry.
I mean, who cares about Braun Strowman in general? Because he was ruined since SummerSlam last year. There was this weird tag match of Finn Balor and Strowman against Lashley and Leo Rush. Like, oh man, that's like a mid feud that gets zero attention, and they just rinse and repeat matches until WrestleMania. I don't know what the WrestleMania match is going to entitle to. I think it's going to be Bobby Lashley versus Finn Balor for the IC title.
Demon Balor
with all the rumors. Mojo Rawley hates himself, I think. I don't know what's going on with that. And we had a Batista live from satellite, whatever they like to do.
The classic WWE satellites.
And
Yes.
he basically called Triple H a control freak, and I guess it was a pretty intense interview, you could say. So yeah, that was kind of Monday Night Raw. Drew McIntyre actually challenged Roman Reigns to a match at WrestleMania. So Drew McIntyre and Roman. I mean, I guess we can say, okay, we can go with it because he's not in a title match. Seth Rollins actually ended up facing Drew McIntyre in Raw, which was, whatever.
And he lost. If there's one thing I hate is people who lose that they're on a huge match going into WrestleMania and they lose.
Yeah.
Why? Because Brock Lesnar, this guy's currently the highest paid WWE superstar in the WWE, and he makes an entrance and he exits. This is where the money's going. Stop paying this guy. Gosh,
we'll move to the blue brand now. This was okay. So the big thing was going to SmackDown was the Gauntlet match, and with the Gauntlet match, Kofi had to face 5 people in order to get himself a championship match with Daniel Bryan in WrestleMania. So he faced off against Sheamus, Cesaro, so from the Bar, Eric Rowan, Samoa Joe, and Randy Orton. So Kofi runs the Gauntlet. Actually ends up winning, which was shocking, but I was like, damn, okay, so they gave it to him, and then Vince's music hit, and I'm like, oh, okay, here we go.
You predicted this last week.
I'm like, here it comes.
You said this was going to happen.
And it threw me off at first because I actually thought Vince was going to, like, when he started congratulating, I'm like, oh, this is how we're going to end the show, is him just giving Kofi props. Nope, he's like, you're going to be in the WrestleMania match after this one last opponent. And his last opponent is the WWE champion, Daniel Bryan.
You see, I don't like this at all. I hate it when people wrestle each other before their supposed match at a big pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're going to see it at this pay-per-view. But then now we've already seen it, so why do we need to see it again? If Kofi loses 2 times on SmackDown and then loses again at WrestleMania, what was the point of all this? I don't get it.
And you brought up the people that are going to big WrestleMania match taking L's. Why did Randy Orton and Samoa Joe have to take L's here? This made them look so bad.
He should have went take Samoa Joe out, take Randy Orton out. I don't think Daniel Bryan should have been in there. He should have been going up against B-level talent on SmackDown.
You have there's reports that they're overcrowded on the main roster, and that's why they're including NXT in the shakeup, and they're going to be signing people down. So, which is exciting, Michael. That's huge. I can't fucking wait for that. Anyways, you have people lying around. Facing 5 opponents is already tough enough. They don't have to be the end-all, be-all of the show. Like, you could have had an Aleister Black show up and have him have to beat like Aleister Black on the main roster at that point can take an L because they're not doing anything with him. They're just showcasing, right? And then maybe you could have had, no, maybe not. I don't know. just kind of trying to name drop names. I can't think of them on the top of my head. But anyways, like the people that took the L's here, wrong idea. Wrong idea. And he had to face Daniel Bryan, which they had actually a pretty decent, quick match for the most part. But Daniel Bryan ends up beating him, and I'm like, oh, man. And then what we got during the week, oh, my God. WWE is treading a thin line here with this storyline. I don't know why they're doing this. WWE is pulling the old racism card in this, and I'm going, oh man, this is so tough, especially, Michael, in a world where the world is so sensitive now. You have to like literally be careful about anything you say, which is, I have my opinions about that. For them to be doing this, if you guys didn't see, Big E made a video and posted on his Twitter account. It was interesting, like it was a very like serious himself kind of thing. The one thing he said, the line drop that really got people going, oh. He says, people like us in this industry, and he's referring to his skin color, if you guys don't know, we are used to this kind of treatment. And I'm like, oh. I'm like, what are we doing here? This is treading again a thin line, and I don't feel comfortable talking about this. This is really bad. Why are they doing this? I know it's making the feud that much more serious, and it's different, but to me, it's from the outside, Michael. They're still just going the Daniel Bryan route with this. They keep putting obstacles in front of the quote-unquote B-plus player.
They're calling him the B-plus player.
Yeah, exactly. And for him to get to that championship match, I guarantee you that he has 2 matches at WrestleMania. I don't think we're going to get the set-in-stone main event until WrestleMania. I think Kofi's going to have to win a match to get into that match with him. I don't think Daniel Bryan's going to have an opponent until WrestleMania. I have this big feeling that we're not going to know. And he's going to have, it's something dumb, like he's going to have to face, maybe he's got to beat Eric Rowan first, and then he faces Daniel Bryan. If he can beat Eric Rowan in a one-on-one match, then you know what I mean? And
Sure.
then maybe he has to tie one hand behind his back. They're going to do something that's going to be insanely, again, treading the line, and I'm going to be like, oh. The only good thing that's come out of this that I kind of agree with and I would love to see is that people are calling for the Big E heel turn here to be the corporate guy to join Vince McMahon, and that's how they're going to split the New Day up, because there's rumors of Xavier Woods going off and doing his own thing with gaming and stuff like that, and Kofi wanting to be a bigger push on the main roster as a singles guy. And then what if Big E gets the big heel turn, becomes, people have already predicted maybe he's going to be the corporate champion like The Rock did.
Yeah, they can do that if they don't put the title on Kofi at WrestleMania because Big E screwed him over. That'd be good.
This is the prediction. They said that Kofi wins at WrestleMania and they're celebrating. In this person's prediction, I forget who was, said Big E turns to both of them and says, "I'm sorry," and then attacks them both. And then he leaves their match with like holding the title, or leaves them in the ring flat. And then maybe he walks up to the beginning of the stage and Vince McMahon comes out and meets Big E. And then they do that whole, like, that would be insane. That would be something. That would be something to mark out of. I would be impressed if they did something like that. But again, I don't get my hopes up. But man, oh man, this storyline is just
It's getting boring. Like, the more that they keep delaying Kofi being official. By the way, guys, we know Kofi's going to face Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. Let's throw this out there. We know it's going to happen, but they keep stalling, and they're trying what they call building. Because they think there's going to be huge.
They're literally following formula from Daniel Bryan's run.
Bryan. I hear you. It's just the more this goes on, the more that people are just getting restless, and I am already bored that this is not happening. So it's just. It's the build that should be Kofi and Daniel Bryan is now a build Kofi versus Vince and him trying to getting into WrestleMania. What is that? I mean, I don't get it. What type of build is this? I don't know. I'm getting bored.
It's so ugly. It's just an ugly feud, Michael. That's the only way we can put it is an ugly feud. And then speaking of ugly feuds, I mean, we didn't have anything about. I mean, Miz and Shane is probably gonna be like a third or fourth match of the card, kind of thing. We only had we had basically Miz cut a pretty serious promo on Shane McMahon, promising to beat up Shane. And it's just, to me, it's different, and I understand that, Michael. And it's we always talk about that he doesn't do a lot of anything different, and I want them to. I love that it's different. It's just so weird for me to take a grasp of, because Miz is the babyface in this, and Shane's the heel. I can't take a grasp of that.
I hear you. Here's the thing, though. If they want to move forward with the Miz as the babyface, this is the babyface he has to be, the serious Miz. And I call this the talking smack Miz, all from that infamous promo he had on Talking Smack with Daniel Bryan. This is the one that we want, because if you remember, the last time the Miz went babyface, it was when Ric Flair was his manager. Ric Flair gave him the figure 4. It was not good. That Miz was not good. So now they're switching over to this more serious Miz. Right. And this would be great. I'm still predicting, if the WWE is smart, they should do Daniel Bryan versus The Miz at SummerSlam, or heel Daniel Bryan versus babyface Miz. This would be good. And it would be the type of thing where I think we talked about last week. You said it would be similar to the whole the corporation, how Daniel Bryan would be The Rock and Shane McMahon would now be Vince. That would be good. That would be a great SummerSlam main event. But we don't know. We don't know what's going on. I mean, there's huge talk of the superstar shakeup. Rumors are going around that Daniel Bryan is going to Raw with the WWE title, and that Brock Lesnar, for some reason, is going to SmackDown with the Universal Championship, and they're going to replace the belt. So, Universal Championship, I don't know.
A blue belt.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. Well, here's the thing. Fox Sports says they want a more sport-branded wrestling show. So, basically, most of the people who have a sports background in UFC, like Brock Lesnar, Ronda Rousey, Bobby Lashley, they're going to try and get all of those people over on SmackDown. And so we'll see where this goes. Brock Lesnar was the downfall of Monday Night Raw, so we'll have to see. We'll have to see. We don't need Brock Lesnar anymore, by the way. No. We don't need him. Stop it.
They kind of changed the U.S. title match, because I don't think this was the original booked U.S. title match, but now it's Rey Mysterio and Samoa Joe just going one-on-one. Rey Mysterio was actually originally booked to face Cien Almas in a hair versus mask match.
That's what the dirt sheet said, but sure.
Or even if it wasn't hair versus mask, I literally think they were going to face each other again.
Yeah.
Because Rey Mysterio versus Samoa Joe, that seems like they just wrote that this week. Like, that's just so left field. And I'm going, okay, all right, that's an interesting dynamic match, because you go from Andrade, Cien Almas, I'm going to say his whole name, and Mysterio actually putting up like insane matches on SmackDown together, and clearly showing that their chemistry together is amazing, and they could fight each other every single week, and then people wouldn't get bored. You go from that to a dynamic of Mysterio and Joe, who are completely different type of wrestlers that are going to face each other for a title at WrestleMania with nobody else.
This time it's different, because now he has his son by his side. So there you go.
How is this different? We're 2 weeks away, and like, what? Samoa Joe deserves better than that.
Just to throw this out there, we talk about creative, rinse and repeat. Why would I not be surprised if Samoa Joe, just like how he was with AJ and the whole Wendy, hey Wendy, would I not be surprised if Samoa Joe comes out here and says, you know what, Dominic is my son. Oh no, they're doing it again.
Oh man, where have I seen that feud before? Dominic. That whole custody. I mean, that was a good feud. That was an intense feud back then. I actually liked that feud with him and.
Yeah, but the gimmick was freaking out of this world. Custody on a pole match. I
think Vince Russo wrote that.
Yeah, he probably did. I mean, I always had this thing, and this was like last year, where I sent out a tweet and said, hey, wouldn't it be weird if Kalisto was revealed as Rey Mysterio's son, Dominic? Because the ages actually match up. Man. # mind blown.
That's it. That is mind blown.
If Kalisto took off his mask and said, "Father, it's me. It's Dominic." Oh no, son, son. That'd be great.
Papi. Oh man. Anyways, gonna sidetrack there. Other than that, SmackDown, I mean, the main focus was the Gauntlet match. Nothing else really happened. Sasha and Bayley lost to the Iconics, so again,
That was surprising.
Yeah,
I thought the titles were on the line, so when they won, I was like, "Holy shit!" But the titles were not on the line. So
other than that, they ran that promo with Nikki Cross saying she's free now, and I'm just like, okay, if she's free, she's facing Asuka. Nothing else, no one else, and all I'm hearing is that Asuka is set to have a multi-woman match at WrestleMania. And I'm like, oh man, come on.
Well, technically, they said there's actually going to be a multi-woman match on this week to determine her opponent. So the multi-woman match I thought would have been a good idea, but apparently now they're going to have a #1 contendership match.
We need more
because
we don't have enough on WrestleMania. Let's keep adding more because one-on-one match is too cliche.
Well, because we had the women's battle royale, but yeah. Other than that, so it's last I heard, it's Naomi versus Carmella versus Sonya Deville versus Mandy Rose.
And Nikki Cross ain't in this. Okay,
is not in this. What the hell happened here? And by the
why
way,
the hell would you run a promo saying she's free then? What was
I assume it's not going to be Carmella because #1, we do not need to see Asuka versus Carmella again, and 2, it was weird. They had announced that R-Truth and Carmella are host of SmackDown, so I guess now it's Alexa Bliss, R-Truth, and Carmella who are hosting WrestleMania.
Hold up, they have 2 hosts. I didn't see this.
Maybe Alexa Bliss is going to do the Raw side, and Carmella and R-Truth are going to do the SmackDown side. I mean, look up the video on YouTube. It was one of those.
Why do they
WWEs.
do these things? Why?
By the way, might I add, dude, WrestleMania this year is jam-packed with stars doing different things. We have Alexa Bliss, Carmella, and R-Truth hosting WrestleMania. We have a live performance by Elias. We have those goons from Saturday Night Live doing something. I don't know what that is, but it's weird. It's weird.
Please show me where the part is I'm supposed to get excited. Please.
Fingers crossed, guys. Elias has announced he has a performance scheduled for WrestleMania. Fingers crossed The Rock comes out with his guitar, dressed in the black vest, the leather pants, and has The Rock show. That'd be so good. I'm sorry. That'd be the saving grace. As Hollywood Rock. He's got to come out to the theme music, too. It'd be the best thing. It'd be the best thing. Come on.
So, that was the main roster recap. And, yeah, again, it was interesting week. It was literally like a roller coaster this week, up and down, up and down, up and down. But now we get to the A show in our minds, and that is the NXT on March 20th edition this week. A new set of tapings this week because of what we got into the intro. Interesting opening to the show, Michael. Triple H, the man, the game, quote, that's quote from our title of the show today, Game Changer, opens the show, and he's coming out holding the championship. He's holding Goldie. Oh, boy.
Oh, did he bury Tommaso Ciampa already? No? Him? Johnny Gargano, you're facing me. Or Batista, you're fighting me at WrestleMania for this title, for the NXT title.
No one else
for Goldie.
No one else here deserves it.
For Goldust. Goldie. It's
Anyways, he comes out, getting a pretty good reaction from the crowd. He talks about NXT being the place that makes wrestlers' dreams come true, saying the dream can end at any time. And I'm listening carefully, and some people in the crowd are like, Velveteen. I'm like, no, he's not talking about Velveteen. He says he was going to announce, he was here to announce the original planned main event for NXT TakeOver and the end of the 2.5-year feud of Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa. But he says for Ciampa, the dream has been put on hold. And basically, when the one dream ends, another one begins. He says Gargano is still going to be going to NXT TakeOver for a chance at the championship. He announces that later on the night, there'll be a fatal 5-way match to determine the the person who's going to face Johnny Gargano for the vacant championship. So he had to strip Tommaso Ciampa. So Tommaso hasn't lost the championship technically. So he has been vacated off him due to injury. He announces the 5 participants: Ricochet, Adam Cole, Aleister Black, Velveteen Dream, and Matt Riddle. Holy crap. And the best part is he announces that at TakeOver, since it is a vacant championship and these are all these great competitors, we can't just have a singles match for one fall. It is best 2 out of 3 falls at TakeOver New York.
You see, I feel like this was already originally supposed to be Gargano versus Ciampa 2 out of 3 falls. So he's basically just taking Ciampa out and substituting someone else in and leaving it as it is. I'm pretty sure they write these scripts way in advance, and they're like, oh, well, we can't change this. They'll just erase
That kind of sucks because
Ciampa out here.
I think that it should have ended in Hell in a Cell. That feud's just too... The build and intensity of it just screams you have to end this in a big... dangerous cage environment. So maybe there's a chance we might get it at TakeOver Toronto. We'll see in the summertime. So that's what we got in the intro of the show. So huge announcement and a big main event planned for that night. So it was announced that also that next week we are going to get the finals of the Dusty Rhodes Classic between the Forgotten Sons and Ricochet and Aleister Black. So Kathy Kelly standing outside the men's locker room and hoping to get word with people about this huge main event that was announced for tonight. Who doesn't just come out first out of that dressing room? But the finest, Kona Reeves. We have a
comeback.
Kona Reeves signing. He's back. Oh boy, and he's just rocking the gear and he's just, oh, hey, Kathy. And Kathy's like, oh, how do you feel about this main event announced for tonight? And he goes, it's all right, but I ain't the finest. And I'm like, yes, I love this guy. I'm telling people I hate him. I'm just saying, I love this guy, man. This guy is great. Like, you're going to take your damn hashtag in the chat and, shove it up where the sun don't shine. This guy is going to be money. I'm telling you guys right now, give this guy a chance for once. It's like, that was just good. So we got to find his sighting. After he left, the Forgotten Sons came out of the room, and basically Kathy Kelly asked him the same thing. He says that the real main event is actually their Dusty Rhodes Classic match, which is happening next week, not this Fatal 5-Way match. And he says they are basically going to claiming that they're going to win and be forgotten anymore. And not be forgotten anymore.
So they're going to have to change their tag team name to the Sons.
Just the
there
Sons.
You go.
Vince
Love it.
That's a Vince thing. I bet you change it just to the Sons.
Sons.
I think we joked about that, them being just Vince's sons. 3 illegitimate sons. Anyways.
Oh, Jesus.
They did a promo for... it was supposed to be a promo for each one of the individuals for the Fatal 5-Way tonight. The weird thing was, I think Ricochet and Black's promo was the original promo for the finals for the Dusty Rhodes Classic. So they kind of played into the Fatal 5-Way match. Then they went to Dream, Cole, and Riddle, and I thought these were all well done. The promo team at NXT, like I say all the time, exceptional. They did exceptional work with this one. So we had everyone throughout the night have individual promos, except for Black and Ricochet. We had footage of Ciampa's surgery. Ciampa saying that it's he goes to this surgery place and he's like, it's too familiar. He's actually had 2 shoulder surgeries and 1 knee surgery in the same place he just went for his neck. So this guy's been here 4 times for 3 different body parts, one which he had 2 surgeries on. So he's all too familiar with this place and doesn't like being there, being familiar with a place like that. They show footage of his neck surgery. Basically, they removed a certain bone in his neck to relieve pressure on his neck, and they had to replace the bone with another bone matter from his body, and it was just this intense surgery. They even showed him waking up. Tommaso Ciampa said it meant more than good. It was perfect. So it was not good. It was a perfect surgery. So surgery went 100% perfect for Tommaso Ciampa, which is huge, which is good news about getting back early for a surgery to go that perfect. The doctor actually said in it, if you didn't catch it, that he's never seen an athlete of this kind of athlete go back-to-back-to-back surgeries in that amount of time and still be able to do what he does. So that's huge for Tommaso Ciampa. It just shows how resilient, how his body recuperates after surgeries like this. So that's amazing. So it kind of seems like Ciampa's on the right path now. We might get an early comeback for him. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, but the sad thing about this is honestly, a neck surgery is pretty huge, and most superstars who go through neck surgery usually retire pretty early. I mean, we had Stone Cold Steve Austin retire early. We had Lita retire early. Paige was forced into retirement early. So, listen, I love Tommaso Ciampa, and I wish him the best, and I hope he comes back fast, but I don't see Tommaso Ciampa wrestling for that long when he gets back here. He might be here for a couple of years.
And let's hope it's at least on the level of a Daniel Bryan, because Daniel Bryan had a big one which we thought was going to end his career, and he's back now. So we'll see what happens. When Io Shirai and Kairi Sane photo shoot, for whatever reason, I don't know, they were in regular clothing. They weren't even in their rig gear. I was like, why are they having a photo shoot? I'm like, what are they doing? Where is this? Where am I going to see these pictures, and where and why? So Kathy asked them about the main event. So she's going everywhere just asking people about this main event. Like, so I mean, it's huge, but she's just asking random people, like, how do you feel about this main event? And they gave their generic answers in like very, very broken English. They bring up going into she brings up going into TakeOver. How do you guys feel about going to TakeOver as friends? And they basically say they don't mind, and basically look at each other. They may the best woman win. Belair comes in and doesn't like that idea. Brings up that it would have been just her and Shayna Baszler if it wasn't for Shayna interfering, which she does have a point there. And I knew she was going to bring this up. I called this. I knew she was going to bring that up in somewhere. Belair says that she's going to have to go and get through you both to get her prize, and that is the main championship. And she's saying that her mindset is still undefeated. So interesting promo there from Belair and the two Japanese princesses there. So.
And by the way, it was announced on Twitter that Bianca Belair will be facing off against Kairi Sane next week. So should be a good one.
Ooh, interesting. I can see something happening there, and maybe all of them. I think Shayna's going to try to interfere again, and I think there's going to be a brawl with these four. So
is Kairi Sane going to go for her classic clothesline and then totally miss and then lose? Right?
Oh man.
That should be her new gimmick. She goes for a clothesline. She always misses.
She misses. Just completely dodges.
Completely. Yikes.
So we had the main event. Huge, long, unreal match. This was basically the winner of this faces or goes against Johnny Gargano for the vacant title. Undisputed Era has a new Titantron. I don't know if anyone caught that when Adam Cole came out. Love it. It says Undisputed Era, and it transitions into all of them, like a cartoon thing of all them doing the pose. So that was pretty cool. I noticed that. This was an unreal matchup to begin with. Like, you think of the people in this match, and you're like you should look at the five and go, damn, all this talent in one ring together facing off against each other. I was with the crowd before, like, all these guys. And they didn't disappoint. Good start to the match. Everyone basically got their showcase in here. A lot of, like, in terms of move wise, a lot of people got time to showcase what they can bring to this, to the match and to the ring. Big spot where everyone basically kicked each other's heads off, and then we were just left with all five of everybody on the ground at the same time. That was pretty cool. Matt Riddle locked in the bro mission at one near the end of the match. Cole pulls the ref out as he's locking in the bro mission. As he pulled the ref out, actually Velveteen Dream taps out. So Dream's tapping out while the ref doesn't see it, and Riddle lets go. He turns around, gets Black masked in the face. Black gets Dream Valley drivered, and then Dream gets Hurricane Rana. This is an insane spot. So Dream is on the top rope. Ricochet gets up there. Hurricane Rana's Dream off the top rope and not to the ring, to the outside where the other people were. I'm like, oh my God. Like this, it was just exactly like, it was just so excellent and well done. Ricochet hits a shooting star press when he goes back up to the top turnbuckle on the, I believe it was, I don't remember who was down on the ground.
Matt Riddle.
Matt Riddle. And then, but Adam Cole comes in and gives him a last shot. And then Adam Cole, baby, picks up the win and is heading to NXT TakeOver New York. He's going to face Johnny Gargano in a 2 out of 3 falls match for the NXT Championship. My God, people, take my goddamn money. Oh my God, is that ever going to be a great match?
So does this mean Johnny Gargano's back to being full-on babyface again? Because Adam Cole, I assume, is the heel in this feud, right?
Yes, and you can argue that he's the tweener because he gets cheered. He doesn't even get booed. Oh, man. Just regardless of anything and how they want to build this starting next week, this match is going to be so good. So 2 out of 3 falls. Oh, it's going to be so good. And I can't wait. I can't wait for it. And this Fatal 5-Way match was just so good as well. My God, Matt Riddle impressed me too, because I knew what the other 4 were about already. I knew what they could bring to the table, and I knew how insane Ricochet is. Ricochet is literally what they quote him as the human cheat code. I was interested to see how Matt Riddle would keep up with these guys, and I thought he did a good job. He showed off his strength and how he can deadlift people, and his suplexing game, and how much of a ground game type of guy he is. We finally got to see a spot. I was waiting for the day this happened that someone was going to step on his foot. They did the whole Adam Cole stepping on his foot spot. I was like, yes, okay, because I always see his bare feet. I'm like, damn, that's got to be. There's going to be the one match where someone accidentally steps on his foot, and it's going to be bad. But they did the whole spot where Adam Cole did it on purpose.
It's gonna be funny if Matt Riddle ever goes up against Pete Dunne, and you know how Pete Dunne bends the finger, instead he bends his toe. He's like, oh no, my toe. But, yeah.
Speaking of, he's facing Walter at TakeOver, and that's gonna be an insane match as well. So TakeOver is stacked at WrestleMania weekend. With the unannounced match, which I already seen. I don't know if I want to spoil it already. But
I've seen it.
You've seen the North American Championship match. If you haven't already, it's been spoiled out there, guys. If you don't want to see it, don't see it yet. We'll get to it when they do show it on TV.
Well, I mean, we'll say this much. It isn't a surprise who the opponent is. They kind of been building toward this, so yeah. We won't say anything further. But
if you know what we're talking about, again, you just shows you how stacked NXT TakeOver is. But yeah, this was such a great Fatal 5-Way match. Again, Matt Riddle impressed me because I really wanted to see how he would keep up with these guys. Ricochet was insane. Aleister Black was good. Velveteen Dream, obviously, the guy is amazing. And just like Adam Cole is just Adam Cole, man. Adam Cole is literally Shawn Michaels 2.0. Like, this guy is just that type of guy. So this was a really good Fatal 5-Way. Can't wait for the main event.
I honestly, I understand that Johnny Gargano was always the plan going into NXT TakeOver New York, but I don't like the fact that he's just in the match. You know what? I would have liked to see him earn it.
Yeah.
So I would have preferred it, honestly. You have 5 people, right? Why not add Johnny Gargano into the mix and make 2 triple threat matches and say, we're going to have 1 triple threat match, Gargano, Black, Aleister Black, and who else? Velveteen Dream. And on the other side, Adam Cole, Matt Riddle, and Ricochet. The winner of those 2 matches will go on to face each other at NXT TakeOver, because at least it's earned.
Yeah,
I would actually for like Triple H. Yeah, for Triple H just to say, well, the plan was always Gargano versus Ciampa, so Gargano gets a free pass. I don't like that. And I looked at my clock, by the way. NXT actually ended 10 minutes early, so they definitely could have done 2 triple threat matches. So I don't. I understand, you know, they had to change the script on the fly because of Ciampa's injury, but come on, you could have done better. And man, you know what? Matt Riddle and Aleister Black, I love their interaction in the match because both these guys have martial arts background.
Right.
I really, oh man, very sad that Aleister Black is moving up to the main roster, so we most likely will not see a Matt Riddle versus Aleister Black anytime soon, but I would love to see these guys fight.
I was impressed. So, Matt Riddle held his own, and he He took shots like a pro. Like he was doing good. I was really impressed with Matt Riddle. So
he sells really good too.
Yeah, he does.
Like when he gets hit,
does.
he's like his facial expressions, bro.
That's key.
Very good.
That's so key. So yeah. So good episode of NXT. Next week we're gonna get the finals of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. We're gonna get that women's match, and we're surely to get some other stuff to happen, maybe involving the women's match and maybe something towards Gargano and Cole. Maybe they've taped something towards that. We will see with next week's episode of NXT. So
someone brought up on the live chat that we still need a Keith Lee and Donovan Dijakovic. So
that's right.
It was supposed to be on this week, but due to the last minute thing, I assume they've already taped it, and I assume when they show Keith Lee versus Donovan Dijakovic next week, it's probably going to be what they taped previously, and they're just going to show it.
Probably, yeah.
If you guys want to know the difference, because they did this one time, pay attention to what Kayla Braxton wears in the ring, because sometimes she literally is wearing different dresses, and you can kind of tell when they're kind of mixing around the pre-tape matches. So, pay attention.
I'll have to go and see that because I'm interested to see. So, it's gonna be interesting to see. I want everyone to know what they're gonna do with that because I was looking forward to those two going at it again. Other than that, guys, this part of the show is new to the show, but it's been a couple of weeks now, and that is it's called Rant City. So let's hit that Rant City theme.
What he's trying to say is,
Rant
City, bitch.
That's right. Welcome to Rant City, guys. That segment of the show where myself and Michael have a topic or a topic submitted by you fans out there, and we will rant about it, basically plain and simple, and we give basically our opinions on it. You guys can give your opinions on it too. You can drop us a comment down in the YouTube comments or tweet at one of our hashtag or one of our handles at Real Kyle Masters, located right below me on YouTube and right below Michael at Michael Chow TV. And this week's topic is actually fan submitted as well. Yeah, I think it was by the same person last week. So Datila fan submitted. So Michael, what did she submit this week?
So just give a shout out. Thank you, Datila, for submitting another great Rant City topic question. So guys, Datila is the only one who's submitting these. So if you guys want to interact with this show, all you gotta do is send it in. All right, to the Twitter account that Kyle just voiced about. And we'll take it. We'll talk about it. We've been talking about Datila's. So this week, Datila, she was talking about how Brock Lesnar is a part-timer. And one reason why this feud basically sucks is he's barely on television. And when he is, he half-asses it. So Datila's question is if Brock Lesnar was full-time, meaning he appears every single week, maybe he might wrestle, maybe he not, but as long as he full-time appears every single week like Ronda Rousey, how would you build Brock Lesnar and Seth Rollins feud going into WrestleMania? Kyle, do you have an idea?
As a full timer, then this is key.
It is key.
Oh man, does it ever drive me nuts? And I know it drives all you out there that how Brock Lesnar is just a part-time guy, makes the most money in the company for however reason, and oh man, it sucks because the type of Brock Lesnar is not an old, decrepit guy who shouldn't be having a lot of matches. The fact that he doesn't have regular matches on Monday Night Raw really drives me absolutely nuts. The guy can do it. He's not old. He's not like 80 years old and, could probably break a hip. He's in a great shape. I don't understand why he's just that lazy and just doesn't want to do anything. You know what I mean? It just doesn't clue in for me. So how I would book these two going in, okay. This was tough for me because it's tough because we don't know how to book Brock Lesnar full time because he's never been full time since he was here back in the day. Even back in the day, it was just I didn't really pay attention that much to Brock Lesnar.
It is crazy to believe, and this is actual fact. Brock Lesnar came back, I believe, around 2011, 2012. He has never wrestled once on TV. in any type of wrestling match. And it is freaking 2019, which I don't understand. I mean, he's wrestled at special house shows. He's wrestled at those events. Was it the Beast from the East? And he'll wrestle on those Saudi Arabia tours. And I think if you asked him, guys, you're paying him the same amount of money, I'm pretty sure he would be okay. And it's not like he's wrestling like 30-minute matches. I don't think he cares if he wrestles.
They can do 2-minute squash matches. They can
do it.
Have him come out here, destroy a jobber, and have Paul Heyman get out in the mic and cut a promo. Like, it's that easy. And then you have Seth Rollins interfere, do stuff like that, or may have Brock Lesnar team up with Braun Strowman versus Seth Rollins and some random guy. Like, just I would book that Brock Lesnar full time. How you would book another feud? You have him. You just do stuff basically like if you see what they're doing with Lashley and Finn Balor. I would book him that way because I can't think of any better way because I don't know what or how to book him in that way because I never seen him do it before. So I don't know what he's capable of. I can sit here and fantasy book the guy and think he's going to do all these crazy things we haven't seen him do before, but I can't because I feel weird doing it. It's like I can say, oh, Brock Lesnar's going to come out and he's actually going to say more than 5 words. But in reality, he would never do that even if he was full-time. He would just have Paul Heyman talk for him regardless. But how I would do it, I would just have him come out, face Rhino or face Heath Slater and destroy him in like 30 seconds. And, you know, at least he's there every week and they're doing something. Or even if it's a backstage thing, or even if it's just a talk show promo he appears on Moment of Bliss, or he comes out and just destroys Elias when he's bantering the crowd in his show. Like, you just have Brock Lesnar there every week, then you're making a case and you're dropping the only critic he has. The only critic Brock Lesnar has is that he's not there all the time, and he's a part-time champion. No one says anything else bad about him besides that. So cut that out, and you have him show up every week, and if it's just doing the things I just name-dropped, you have nothing wrong with Brock Lesnar. I think he'd be the perfect type of champion for the type of guy he is. So that's how I would do it. I don't know if you had anything different towards that, because to me it was really tough to do this. This was a really good...
Yeah,
thank you, because it was tough, but it was really good because I love tough stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. It is tough, and I'm gonna kind of go your route since you said that book him like they book Lashley. I'm gonna say book once again to reiterate here. If Brock Lesnar was full time, meaning he appears every single week, what could we possibly do? Since Kyle says book him like Lashley, I would say book him like Drew. So here's the thing: he's currently feuding with Seth Rollins, right? Okay. The Shield just reunited, and what I would do, for the last time, quote unquote. Yeah. And do what Drew is doing right now. If you guys have been seeing Drew, he's beating up Roman Reigns. He's beating up Dean Ambrose. So Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns are jobbers on the way to WrestleMania. So instead of Drew doing it, have Brock Lesnar do what Drew's doing. Have Brock Lesnar beat up Dean Ambrose. Have Brock Lesnar beat up Roman Reigns. Okay, this is after Roman Reigns came back from cancer.
They can do it because we've seen Brock beat Roman before multiple times. So
yeah, there you go.
That's something they haven't done before.
Mm-hmm. And then, a feud is two-sided. So I want Seth Rollins to get in on this. I want Seth Rollins to do what Samoa Joe did one time. And I know this is creative rinse and repeat, guys, but I really, me and Kyle can't think of stuff for lazy Brock Lesnar to do because we don't know what to do with him. So we're taking pages out of other people's playbook here. So with Seth Rollins, I would have what Samoa Joe did one time to Paul Heyman, which I thought was great. Paul Heyman came out here, and Samoa Joe says, "Where's Brock Lesnar?" And he says, "I want you to send a message to Brock Lesnar." Samoa Joe ended up choking out Paul Heyman, and that's what I want Seth Rollins to do. I want Paul Heyman to come out here. And by the way, I'm getting kind of bored of Paul Heyman, him coming out here saying the exact same thing every single week. And I want Seth Rollins to say, "I want you to deliver a message to Brock Lesnar." And I don't know, He's not a wrestler, so, I mean, I can't – can Seth Rollins do the stomp to Paul Heyman? I don't know. Give him a super kick or something. Right. I don't know. Do something to Paul Heyman. Basically send him a message. But I just – because the thing is, guys, Seth Rollins is a small guy. He is. He's like the size of Finn Balor. And I can't picture these two guys getting into a brawl and Seth Rollins coming out on top. Unless he kicks him in the balls. You know what I mean? So I can't. No, because it's true, right? Kyle, can you imagine if they do this thing they always do, which I'm glad they haven't done it yet. I'm very surprised. You know the old create a rinse and repeat that they always do with Brock Lesnar, where him and his opponent get into a brawl, and the entire locker room comes out here and they break it up.
Yeah,
Dude,
someone gets accidentally popped in the mouth, and
there you go.
Yeah, like just heels and baby faces are teaming together for whatever reason.
Yeah, it's if they did that, Brock Lesnar and Seth Rollins brawling, I'm sorry, Brock Lesnar would beat the hell out of Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is a small guy, okay? Brock Lesnar outweighs this guy by like what, 100 pounds. So it's just, yeah, let's go with the route of my pick is Brock Lesnar beats up the other members of the Shield, and Seth Rollins beats up Paul Heyman. That's how I would book it. So there you go. It's tough.
Like I said, it's tough to do when you haven't seen this guy do anything but what he's done, and I like that idea. That's just it's literally a better way to do it. And you have him be there every week. You gotta just destroy jobbers, or you just do something. Have him flip a car. I don't know. Do something. Do something rather sit at home and then we wait like a month and a half. Then Brock Lesnar is going to be on Raw this week. Oh, great. He's not here every other week. Why should I care? So, it is what it is. But that's how we do it.
You know what? These two feuded. Do you remember they faced each other in a singles match before on a pay-per-view? Do you remember which one that was? Because I'm trying to think, how did they build that feud? It was back when Seth Rollins was heel and he was with J&J
right.
Security. Remember?
Yeah.
It was after their triple threat match with John Cena at the Royal Rumble, and then these two had a singles match.
There was something else in play that kind of overshadowed it a bit. I feel like it wasn't just those two, and that was it. I forget what it was. Yeah,
because I'm trying to think, how did they build that feud? You know what I mean? So it's like,
I'll have to go back and see that.
I'll have to go. Yeah. Do any of you in the live chat know? Do you guys remember last time Seth Rollins faced Brock Lesnar? It was at a pay-per-view a couple of years ago, and Seth Rollins was champion, and I forget what happened, but yeah. Oh well.
We got some fan tweets. One is, we'll start with Tiffany, who is my host on the All Elite podcast on the network. She puts, number one, she puts a hashtag, which I will not be saying because, no. But she puts, are you ready for the best main event live? And she's talking about the 2 out of 3 falls match. Yes, I am ready for that. Cannot wait for that, Tiffany. And number 2, she puts her hashtag, which again I will not say. Finally made an appearance. When will we see him wrestle someone? I hope it's in the next coming weeks. Maybe at the NXT taping at TakeOver, or maybe after. So I think Kona Reeves is gonna be here soon. Don't you worry. The finest.
Hey, as much as I like Kona Reeves, obviously they need opponents for NXT champions to beat. So I'm guessing I'm predicting this out. Maybe Velveteen Dream might face Kona Reeves, or maybe
that's a good feud, man. You got his character went up against the finest's character. Like it's a pretty clashable feud there.
Or whoever the opponent, because me and Kyle already know who the opponent for Velveteen Dream is at NXT TakeOver New York. Maybe that opponent could beat Kona Reeves. So we got to build superstars on the road to NXT TakeOver. So sadly, as much as I like the guy, Kona Reeves is just appearing to job to whoever needs to be jobbed on the way to NXT TakeOver. So.
And next one is Cupid Girl, who, again, you haters out there mention him so much that gets me thinking you'll like him eventually. She puts, are you prepared for the end of the world since there was a finest sighting? And she has the gif of Homer Simpson. I'm going to put it in the camera there, walking and has the bell, and he's got the billboard sign on him. This is the end is near. Very nice. But she also puts, in all seriousness, would you like to see Ciampa return before SummerSlam, or would you like to see him go face-to-face with Gargano alone at the Royal Rumble? Make him wait till then. The Royal Rumble would be almost a year. So,
because I don't think he's going to be back in SummerSlam. That's way too early.
6 months from his surgery puts him at September.
Okay.
So SummerSlam, it would be an early thing, and it's a chance. It's a high chance. But I'm not too sure if it'll happen. It's tough. Again, I want his neck to be really, really good before he comes back. I don't want to push an early return. So Royal Rumble's so far away. I'd say I'm going to meet you in between here and say a Survivor Series. maybe around there. They do like a whole thing like they did in NXT where Gargano's on the stage and then he attacks him from behind. They do something like that.
You know what? This is going to be difficult because when you really think about it, Tommaso Ciampa coming back is almost a repeat of what they did last year. So what, is he going to come back and screw over Gargano again? In a way,
it's the main roster. It's the main roster. They rinse and repeat, right? I don't know if Gargano's still going to be in NXT by then.
It's sad. I would have liked to have seen these guys end their great trilogy of matches, but in another way, I feel like it would be better if they got separated. So maybe Gargano goes to Raw or SmackDown, and Tommaso Ciampa just goes to the other. So
okay.
I'd be down if you build up Gargano to be the super heel maybe, and then during the Royal Rumble when Gargano comes out, and then Ciampa comes out as the next entrant, and they come down here and they all brawl. That'd be great. So maybe. Okay. So Royal Rumble, maybe. I'd be down.
I'd be down for that too. And last but not least, Attila puts in the Fatal 5-Way match was amazing this week on NXT. That being said, aside from Cole, who would you have? Besides Cole, who would you have picked to win the match? Good question. Very good question.
Can I go first?
Yes, go ahead.
Gotcha. So I just want to say, all the way back in January when they had all these NXT call-ups, I said during that podcast episode, with all of these talents being rushed up to the main roster, you got to start building up new stars. And with them announcing that Ciampa was going up to the main roster, I said most likely 100% he was going to drop the title. And I said that, it's not going to be Ricochet because he's moving up. It's not going to be Aleister Black. He's moving up. EC3 got pulled up. Lars Sullivan got pulled up. So I had picked, my prediction was it's going to be Ciampa versus Matt Riddle and that he was going to take the title off at NXT TakeOver New York. So my pick going into this week, is I thought Matt Riddle was going to win. I thought it was going to be Matt Riddle versus Gargano and that they were going to just scrap whatever feud he had started with Velveteen Dream. Mm-hmm. I think that would have been a great match. Wouldn't you agree that Matt Riddle versus Gargano would have been a great match?
Yes and no. Yes, I would, because it's different. I would love to see that these two go at it.
But you think it's too early?
I think they went with Cole because they wanted to stack it. They wanted to do everything in their power to make it huge. I know deep down, the guys in Triple H will always want to surpass the pay-per-view, even if it's WrestleMania, and they always want to stack it up to WrestleMania, and this is such a good idea. I think they really want to jam-pack it, and for them to pick Adam Cole, I think was a smart decision. Creative-wise, I would love to see a Matt Riddle and Johnny Gargano, though. I would have loved to see them go at it for the main title if this wasn't the WrestleMania weekend takeover. If this was going to be like a Chicago in May or something like that, I would be okay with that. I think because it was WrestleMania weekend, they did this on purpose to stack the card. And Cole and Gargano, 2 out of 3 falls, is going to be insane. Oh my God, the amount of false finishes we're going to get. The chemistry that these two guys have, it's going to be so freaking good. So I can't wait for that.
I feel like they would not have picked Cole unless something was going to go down. 2 out of 3 falls is great. No doubt in my mind, Adam Cole and Gargano is going to put on the match of the night. But they would not have picked Adam Cole unless something involving Adam Cole was going to happen at NXT TakeOver. What do you think possibly? What do you think is going to happen?
Gargano wins. He gets screwed because Cole gets screwed over by Roderick Strong.
That's what I thought you were going to say. You could. Yeah.
That would be an insane quote-unquote fuck finish. But if they go the normal route and just have Cole win it, I'm all for it. And then they build the feud between Roderick Strong from there starting in the next week. Oh, man. If they did that at TakeOver, I would be going nuts. I'd probably lose my voice. I'm already going to lose my voice from being there that weekend. It's going to be nuts. I cannot wait for TakeOver. It's going to be the second TakeOver in 1 year I'm going to see. I thought Phoenix was amazing. This is surely to top it. And we remember the WrestleMania TakeOver last year was just as good. The ladder match was like match of the year last year. That was so good.
And I also have another quick question for you. So if Johnny Gargano does walk out of New York as the new NXT champion, and he does deserve it, does that mean that his call up to the main roster has now been reversed?
I think they're going to just drop it. I think they're just done. I actually think they for sure will keep Black and Ricochet up, and They still have NXT call-up. They already called up back in January up there anyways, or December.
Really? Who?
Right. I think the only other person that's going to get called up is Shayna Baszler. I've heard rumors that Baszler's done after TakeOver New York, and she's getting called up. And from what I'm guessing, and I've seen people predict, that Becky's going to be the one to walk out of WrestleMania with the title, and that Shayna's going to be her first challenger and confront her on the Raw or SmackDown after WrestleMania, wherever they want to put her. So it's for the Raw title, so she'll be on Raw, right? Because it's for the Raw Women's Championship.
That is true. That is true.
So Shayna's going to appear on the Raw after Mania and confront her, and that's going to be her first feud. And I'll be like, holy shit, could you imagine that? Shayna versus Becky Lynch, man. Oh, my God. So.
That's why I believe Shayna Baszler should drop the title at TakeOver, and that Shayna Baszler should win the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royale. It would give her juice, fuel to challenge Becky. Be like, hey, I just won it. Naomi is shit, so welcome to your new Women's Battle Royale winner.
Oh,
all right, right over here. And then Shayna Baszler's probably going to lose her first night there. I don't know, probably to Alicia Fox. I don't know.
Yeah, Alicia Fox get the upset win. Oh, man. Anyways, guys, really quickly before we end the show, make sure, again, you are following us on the Twitter accounts, TheNEXT Pod, the TheNEXT Pod. You're following myself at Real Kyle Masters. You are following my co-host at Michael Chow TV on Twitter. Make sure you are also, if you want to listen to us on the go, we're able to listen to on iTunes, Spotify, Spreaker, and Stitcher Radio. All links will be located down in the YouTube description below. And also, very importantly, I always forget to bring this up in the beginning of the show. I'm bad for this. I apologize. Sponsor, don't hurt me. ExtremeWrestlingShirts.com, guys. Go check them out. They specialize in pro wrestling apparel. Over 50,000 items in stock. And make sure you are using the promo code NOHOLDS, NOHOLDS, at checkout, and you're going to save 10%. And one lucky fan per month that uses the promo code actually gets a free gift along with their order. So go check out the official sponsor of the No Holds Barred Network, and that is ExtremeWrestlingShirts.com. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to wrap it up for episode number 21 of the, I was going to say the old name of the podcast. Oh my God, I'm so glad I didn't. The Next Podcast, right here on the No Holds Barred Network, your number one podcasting source for all things WWE, NXT, NXT UK, and AEW. I'm your host, as always, the self-proclaimed greatest host, Kyle Masters, always joined by my co-host. He is the host that runs the West Coast, Hollywood, Michael Chow. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning into episode number 21 of the Next Podcast. We will see you next time.